Welcome to Around the World on a Dollar. I'm your host, Bob Macy. Our program tonight is for those of you who want to travel to countries where you can speak English. Well, there are plenty of fascinating places you can go. For example, I just returned from a tour of England, India, and New Zealand. My first stop was London, one of the greatest cities in the world. I began my tour at the London Eye, a giant observation wheel located on the south bank of the River Thames. From here, you get a fantastic view of the city. My next stop was the Houses of Parliament. The British government has met here for more than 700 years. You'll probably recognize Big Ben, one of the best-known symbols of London. Here's an interesting fact. Big Ben isn't the clock tower itself. It's actually one of the bells inside. Buckingham Palace, the London home of the royal family, is another must-see. And don't forget to take a ride through London streets on one of its famous double-decker buses. It's a great way to meet friendly Londoners and practice speaking the Queen's English. From England, it was on to India. In this huge country, many different Indian languages are spoken, but many people speak English too. India is full of impressive monuments, forts, and temples. In Delhi, I saw the gorgeous Red Fort, and then I went to Agra to visit the Taj Mahal. It's one of the most famous monuments in India and the world. India is home to many different religions. I went to the Jama Masjid Mosque, which is one of the largest Muslim places of worship in the world. I visited Hindu temples, and I also stepped into a Sikh temple. It was totally fascinating. One of the most interesting things to do in India is simply to walk the streets. There are holy cows and holy men almost everywhere. And the countryside is beautiful too, home to exotic plants and animals. But best of all are the friendly, warm Indian people. My final destination was New Zealand. Most people think of sheep when they think of New Zealand, and it's true that many parts of the country are full of them. But there's much more to see in New Zealand. From the stunning peaks and fjords of the South Island to the geysers of Rotorua on the North Island. There is also a wide variety of wildlife in New Zealand. For example, in Kaikoura Canyon on the South Island, I went whale watching and saw families of seals sunning themselves on the rocks. What a sight! I was fascinated by the culture of the Maori, who were the first people to live on the islands of New Zealand. I went to a pōwhiri, which is a welcoming ceremony. The pōwhiri I attended was held on February 6th, Waitangi Day, a national holiday that celebrates the birth of the country in 1840. New Zealand's cities are as beautiful as the countryside. Wellington is the capital city and is built around a beautiful harbor. Nearby, Mount Victoria stands guard. When we come back, we'll look at the cost-saving websites used to plan this trip. Stay tuned.